Hi, this video is greatly inspired by a comment made by one of my friends and viewers, Ronwise. You will find his channel in my Roleplaying Knights of the Round Table section of my channel in the Channels tab. He has been producing more videos lately. Definitely check them out. He has a cool motto at the end of his videos. What is it? Play to find out what happens. I think that's the correct way, because it points you towards the story in a tabletop role playing game not being told, but being created by the actions, the interactions of the player characters with the game world. So, in my somewhat recent video, where I talked about if role playing and immersion were hardcore in a tabletop RPG, which I would say they are not, he made this very interesting comment. He said, those that say that role playing is hardcore in a tabletop role playing game are probably the ones, I don't think this is the exact wording, but are probably the ones that say that dribbling is hardcore in basketball. That's the perfect comparison. This kind of like was sparked because C4 Crispy talked to a, I hate to say it because that game is, I actually like Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition, but it is quite noticeable that because of the attempt to make it like mainstream, like a lifestyle, but there are a lot of people that play it that are not role players, but they think they are role players. So a Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition player thinks that um, role play is hardcore in tabletop RPGs. Yeah, and for me that's completely nonsensical because it is part of the name, role playing game. You cannot be hardcore because that's the very act of role playing is in the name of role playing game. Role playing game in the concept. Role playing. You cannot have a role playing game without role play. Let me put things into a perspective that is somewhat similar. In China, there is this man by the name of, sorry if I butcher the name because I don't speak Chinese. It's Shu Xiaodong. I think that's the name. He's a real martial artist, and he got very angry when it comes to fake martial artists tricking people, scamming them, and potentially putting them in danger. If you're not teaching martial arts and you're just teaching them crap, they are going to hurt themselves in a real confrontation. They will try to apply the knowledge that they have been imparted, and they are going to end up in the hospital or worse. So Xu Xiaodong is traveling all over China, taking out fake martial artists. These martial artists have connections to the, to avoid the YouTube algorithm, I will say it like this: Chinese government. They have connections with that. Let's yes, that tyranny. They have connections with that tyranny. So this is all science fiction. Okay, so Xu Xiaodong travels all over the place, beating the crap out of all of those fake martial artists, and they obviously cannot do anything to defend themselves. They kind of like slap him around. Supposedly, this is fighting. They're kind of like this, and they kind of like try to slap him, and he beats the crap out of them. So there is a relativism caused by ego. You will find many people that are trying to play tabletop role playing games, but their ego won't allow them to role play. Worse yet, it won't let them accept that they haven't been role playing this entire time. It's like these fake martial artists. According to them, they know how to fight. They slap. They slap like this. They do not really know how to fight. So it's about not tricking yourself. If I had remained in this mindset, the Gary Gygax mindset, when I first started to play tabletop RPGs with the Advanced Dungeons and Dragons box set, second edition box set, I would have never become or turned into the role player that I am today. And for those of you that could be thinking, well, show me your game, right? Check out my actual play in the description. I would have never achieved that unless I recognized at the start, about 1.5 or 2 years after my beginnings into tabletop RPGs, that there was something wrong with what I was doing. Dave Arneson never approved the way that Gary Gygax communicated the Dungeons and Dragons game. You will not find a single Gygaxian book that teaches you how to roleplay. None whatsoever. And that's why Dave Arneson got really angry with the way that things were handled. They never passed down the essence of true roleplay. Remember to check out my video where I talk about Dave Arneson's mysterious Dungeons and Dragons legacy. So when it comes to this, there is nothing hardcore about role playing in a tabletop role playing game. That's just part of the activity, of the hobby. It's implicit, it's in the name. And for those that actually want to surpass their limitations, they need to overcome their ego. In most cases, it won't be possible. It's a bitter pill to swallow. They need to identify, to recognize that they haven't been role playing at all, not a single time. And they need to avoid the trappings, the traps, the hazards of getting tricked by their own ego. They haven't been doing that. They either have been playing a board game or they have been having a mother may I conversation, perhaps something else entirely, something completely stupid. It would be like, imagine someone that says, I am an actor. And they're like, okay, act. And he starts to fool around in the stage, not really acting, like trying to ad-lib things and laughing at his own ineptitude and making jokes. And suddenly he walks up to anyone in the scene, in the surroundings, and oh, do you know what's the next line? Or how should I act? Do you know how I should act in this scene? And then they go, I am an actor. You're just someone pretending you're a poser. So yes, I think that's the heart of the matter. But I really appreciate the way that Ronwise framed things. Like, it would be like saying that dribbling is hardcore in basketball. I completely agree. So for those of you that are starting to get into tabletop role playing games, figure out if you are actually role playing. If you don't know what role playing is, and it is not acting, please check out my video in the description, the role playing acting confusion. That's going to get you started into actual role play. Or also, of course, watch my actual play. Well, thank you for watching this video. As always, I would love to know your thoughts and comments on this. And thank you for your likes and your comments. If you have any other questions or comments, please let me know in the comment section. And thank you so much to those of you that are going the extra mile to support the channel. If anyone else wishes to further support the channel, the information on how to do that will be in the description below. And remember, it is better to roleplay and fail in character than not to roleplay and fail as a player. Once again, thank you, and see you later.